Welcome back to Gridlock. We should keep the cameras on during the break. What about this health care bill? Who wants to jump in first? Marcus, is this just a horrible deal for the American people, or is health care needed in this country?
Well, I mean, I think everybody recognizes that the cost of insurance, not the cost of medical care, but the cost of insurance is too high.
Right.
And I think there are a lot of solutions that have been proposed. I'm not sure that the one that they ultimately are going to vote on here is the right solution. It's got too much government control in it for my tastes. But that's a policy issue. I want to give Barack Obama credit, though. I think this guy has moved into the White House, and I think he has used his position of power probably as effectively as anybody since Lyndon Johnson. He has cajoled, yes, I think he has cajoled, I think he has dealt, I think he's made deals, he's made under-the-table deals with people. He has shown people what power can do. He's scared people, he's threatened people, and I think what's going to happen is, as we've had in Frankfurt with the Democrats who've been in control for so long, quite frankly, I think there are going to be a lot of people next year who are going to be told, you better vote Democrat, because if you want anything done in your state, you better send a Democrat to Washington, D.C. I don't like that kind of politics. Right. It's Chicago-style thuggery, but that's what Obama has adopted, and it's been effective.
McConnell does that stuff, too.
Yeah, I mean, that was the classic there. I mean, he really, I mean, now I guess we've had Frankfurt for just a century, but you guys took it over for 4 years and made a total wreck of the place. I mean, you got people going to jail. I mean, the transportation cabinet, I love it, but I mean, you know, we won't talk about that right now. Healthcare, here's where healthcare is.
We don't get sweetheart deals like Steve Henry.
I don't think anybody's gone to jail yet.
He's not, I mean, but he went, he got in trouble and he needs to pay for it. But we're going back to healthcare here. The fact is, with healthcare, is they've got to vote on this. The fact is, it is hurting Democrats.
Yeah, what about the rushing this thing to vote?
They got to rush this thing.
Why do they have to rush it?
I begged them. I talked to 2 congressmen last week, and I begged them, let's keep pushing and get this over with. This is because American people need to know what's in the bill. The bill, there has been so many bills and so many issues talked about in the bills that they need to finally have it to come to the end and say, here is health care.
Yeah, but the congressmen don't know what's in that bill. They're rushing this thing, votes at 1 in the morning, votes on Christmas Eve.
But rushing, they've been at this for a year, Crowley. They've got to move on. I mean, you could.
I do agree that if you don't vote on it, that it's going to get strung out by the Republicans and they'll delay it and delay and delay it. But I think that just, I think when, and I hear the pragmatic argument you're making, Nathan, and also these guys don't want to go home and get beat up.
That's the key. That's the key to it. You know, they're rushing this bill because the vast majority of the American people are opposed to this legislation. Polling shows it's way up.
No,
now,
they're not opposed to it. They don't know what it is.
Have their senators at home over Christmas. They're going to hear from the people. And if they go back to Washington, D.C. without this bill being passed, I'm not sure they're going to have the votes to get it through.
They have to pass something, and they need to pass it, and the people need to see the bill and know what's in it. The fact is, the Republicans have done a great job of running out and crying wolf and saying it's this, telling lies, do what they do best. They like to lie and stir it up.
Do you think it's been, as Lindsey Graham said, do you think this whole effort has been sleazy, or has it just been the way politics works?
It's politics. People trade in politics. You come here and you say, this is good for my constituents. This guy says, it's good for my constituents. And they meet somewhere in the middle. I'll give you this and you get that. It's called politics. And you know what? If you don't like, it's like sausage being made. You don't want to see it made, but you have to, you like it after it's fried up at the end.
Politics and sleazy are synonyms.
Right. Last word on health care before we go to Frankfurt.
Don't vote for the bill.
Right.
Vote on the bill quickly.
Right. All right. There we go. So we call it gridlock. Okay, let's talk about what happened down in the special Senate election a couple weeks ago down in central Kentucky. Democrats thought they were going to win that one. Republicans won it big. What's that say?
It says that all that horse racing and casino money that they dumped into the other guy's campaign couldn't beat Jimmy Higdon. I don't know everything that was going on in that race because it was just a little off the radar screen, but I will say this. The Republicans scored another big blow to the nose of Steve Beshear, both in terms of his ability to control the votes in the Senate and in terms of what the casino interests in Kentucky are going to be able to get done. The third thing is we got to not forget is Rand Paul. We all acknowledge.
He was there. I'll give you that.
He jumped out front and got behind Jimmy Higdon, and I think that his stock with conservative Republicans and mainstream Republicans went up because
McConnell said it was a reflection of the national issues. Others say it was about horse racing. What do you think?
That district was held by a Republican before. Even though it is registered Democrat, they voted heavily for John McCain. They voted heavily in national elections Republican. So it's not exactly what you would consider. It's not a liberal district. But I think what happened there was the fact is that the Republicans do a better job simply at special elections. Their folks are more and excited about going to the special election polls than Democrats. The Democrats historically have a tough time with turnout, have always had in the past few years a tough time with turnout, and that's what they had there. The Republican turnout was nearly 40% in some.
What does that say, though? I think it's more than just they're good at special elections. I think that they're fired up. I think those are people that are fired up. My God, the Democrats spent $2 million on that race.
Oh, they did not.
That's
that
impressive.
Is so, I mean,
well, with the 527, wait till that 527 money comes in.
I don't believe that's true.
I don't know.
That's all makeup. You've been
drinking the Kool-Aid
again. I mean, it hit
lipstick on a pig, maybe.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, come on now.
Okay, whatever it was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money,
and it was the most expensive legislative race in the history of Kentucky.
And Jimmy Higdon is a good man, and that's the other thing that I mean, people like Jimmy Higdon. Democrats like Jimmy Higdon, and I think that's where that was the problem.
30 seconds. Does that kill casino gaming in this state? I don't think it does, but it's certainly.
Well, I tell you, I don't know where I stand sometimes on casino gambling, but let me say this: the horse industry is in serious trouble. All of you folks spend this New Year's and walk out to the horse track. It ain't pretty.
10 seconds. Is casino dead?
It's a long shot bet.
Long shot bet. All right. Turtle in the Punch Bowl. We'll be right back to wrap up Gridlock with some predictions for 2010 with our esteemed panel. We'll be right back.